Hello everyone. On Sunday I shared a frottage video, which means rubbing. I use stencils and all kinds of things to achieve these beautiful backgrounds, and as I was going through the process it gave me more ideas of other things I could do using this technique. If you haven't seen the video showing how I made this, I'll leave it in the description box below, but you know, I just love these backgrounds. I think they're gorgeous. Just look at these, using supplies that you know, most of you have: stencils, textured wallpaper, all kinds of things. Go and take a look if you haven't already seen it. So I thought today we'd try something different and maybe have a go at making some focal images. I've pulled out a pile of my stamps, and these are all really old stamps. I've got no idea whether, you know, any of these are still in circulation. I don't know, but you know, at the end of the day, use whatever you have. But I thought some of these would make the most wonderful focal images. One of my favourites is this stamp by Art by Marlene, and this, well, in fact, that's the reference, stamp BM19. I love it. It's gorgeous, and I've used this in several projects in the past. So let's try and do something with this. So let's try taking an impression with some different tools. First of all, I'm going to try a Crayola wax crayon. I've taken the wrapping off. Let me just show you one of the ones with the wrapping on. So I've just peeled it off. This is black, and I am just going to rub straight over my stamp, and just look how crisp and clear that is. And of course, if you wanted to, you could go over this with colour. You could use watercolours. Bear in mind, this is just regular photocopier paper, so you know, not particularly strong, but you know, you could certainly use chalk pastels or pencil crayons or something similar. Isn't that just lovely? Let me just cut that off. Next I want to try some of my what are they called, Derwent Inktense blocks. I used these for the backgrounds I did at the weekend, so I've got a couple of colours here. So let's try this. Oh, and you see that works absolutely beautifully as well. Now these are water soluble. I suspect that this might go really dark and muddy if we activated those. So if you wanted to use it just like that, I think you'd need to spray it with some kind of fixative. But you know, another look. Let's cut this off and let's try with two different colours and see what we end up with. Let's try this colour over the top. You see, this is so quick and easy. And then let's try this green colour as well. You see, I really like how that looks. What beautiful focal images these will make. And then I want to try it with a graphite pencil as well. Now this is, hang on, let me just find one. This is the Lyra graphite pencil. This is non-water soluble. They also do a water soluble design as well. This is the 6B, this is the 2B, which is much harder. So I want to do it with the 6B. And I'm just going to rub this over the top as well. And you see, you get a really lovely impression with this as well. And what I find is that doing it this way, you get a really nice sketchy look that you don't get if you just stamped this image with regular ink. I've also got the Dina Wakley Scribbly Birds set. Let's see how it works with these. I'm just sticking the stamp down to a glass mat. And let's go over this. Let's try the Crayola again. I think this works really well. And we can colour this in later if we want to, but I just really like that effect. Let's do one with the Lyra graphite pencil as well. But I just think these look really nice and sketchy. These are the focal images that I've ended up with. I've cut a couple out, as you can see, fussy cut these ones, just so that you could see what they look like. I also did a flower as well. Now, I did this using one of the Paper Artsy stamps. I really like this stamp here. But, you know, I just think that maybe we can use a couple of these with the backgrounds that we made on Sunday. I've chosen one of the bird images and I've pulled out a few of the backgrounds that I thought this might work with. For instance, I think this looks really cool here. Let me just separate these just so that you can see. It also goes really well with this more retro style background. Might be a bit too dark for this one here. I think the background is too dark. It doesn't really stand out too much, but you get the general idea. But I just love it on this one here. I think the colours, because I used the same colours as I used for this rubbing here, I think that's just beautiful. So I'm going to see if I can make myself a tag. Now I want to draw a branch for my bird because at the moment he's just suspended in thin air. So I'm just going to do this initially with a pencil, and then I'll come in with some ink. Just want that line there just so that I can see where it needs to go. And then I'm just going to use a Signo Uniball pen just to draw this in, because at the moment you just can't really see it. So how did I have that? Just using a piece of scratch paper just in the background, and I just want a few scribbly lines. So there we go, I'm happy with that now. And then I just want to distress ink with frayed burlap just around the outside. And before I glue anything down, I'm just going to ink around the edges of my bird as well, just to get rid of the white edges as best I can. Of course, it's difficult around these areas here. And of course, this is just regular copier paper as well, so it's flimsy. And I'm also just dragging the leftover ink along my bird just to add a little bit more colour as well. So let's glue our bird down. Let's move that out of the way. I'm just going to use a regular glue stick. Just be careful around the feet because those are flimsy and more fragile. Keep it in place as well so that that glue doesn't actually get on my focal image. Let's just move that. Pop my bird down about there, I think. And to finish my tag off, I'm just going to mount it on a piece of quite thick Khadi paper, Khadi. This is cotton watercolour paper. I did also sort of have a look at mounting it on craft, but I don't like that as much. I prefer the white. So I'm just going to use a tiny bit of glue now to stick this down, and I'm going to take this off to the sewing machine and just add a little bit of stitching all the way around. You can see as well that I have actually gone around the outside with some ink as well, just to frame it all the more. I'm really happy with my tag, and I know that some of you sort of ask every time, what do you do with these? Well, I want to add this to my journal. This is one of the journals that I'm working on at the moment. I have several on the go, and I just think it's going to go really well on this page. This is a piece of Braille paper. I think it matches the paper bag and also this piece here on the other side. Now, I'm also wondering whether I can use this piece of background that I made on Sunday. I think I'm going to chop it in half. I think that goes really well. Again, the gold matches the gold on the butterfly on the other page. I'm also wondering whether I should add some kind of tab to the top. I've pulled out a couple of pieces of natural fabrics here. I've got this, which is sort of, kind of bark textured. I could add a little piece just on the top here like that. Perhaps I ought to just cut some down and just see what it looks like. And look, another piece has just turned up out of nowhere. So, I could just stick a piece on like that. I kind of like that, or I could use a piece of this burlap as well. I have so many different types of burlap in my stash. I just love them. I love the natural colour and texture. Oh my goodness me, now I don't know what to do. This one here, I think I'm just going to add a line of stitching and then just glue that on top. I've added my line of stitching, and I've also left a couple of threads as well. I thought that added to the grungy look, and I'm just going to stick that on. I'm just going to add just a line of art glitter glue. And let's just pop that down. I'm just going to try and line the stitching up, and I'll weight that down underneath a heavy book for a second or two. And I'm using art glitter glue as opposed to 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac, something like that, just because I think it shows less when the glue bleeds through. And to attach my tag, or house my tag on my page, I've cut out a piece of acetate, and as you can see, I've added a line of stitching. I'm just going to stick this down here, and then my tag can go in its little pocket. So that allows you to be able to see the whole of that tag. So I'm just going to glue that down. My glue is now dry, and so I can just slot my tag into my pocket. I love that. And I've also stamped a little sentiment, and this was from the Dina Wakley Scribbly Bird set. Keep a green bough in your heart and perhaps a singing bird will come. And I'm just going to glue that on there like that, and then slot my page back into my journal. Whilst I had some of this burlap on my table, I decided to add a piece to the side of this paper bag. I think that acts as a nice tab. I like the way that looks, and we've got lots of different textures. We've got this one here, now this, and of course the beautiful burlaps that I used in that page there as well. But I'm really happy with how that's turned out, and I hope it's given you some ideas and inspiration. So I'm bringing today's video to a close because I don't know whether you can hear Toby is going mad in the background. The gardener has just arrived, and he clearly doesn't like it, so I need to go and pay him some attention. I will leave the link to part 1 of this video in the description box below, showing how I made the beautiful backgrounds. But I just love this technique, and I can see me becoming addicted to this and using it over and over again. But if you've enjoyed today's video and it's given you some ideas and inspiration, as always, I'd very much appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, but most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.